Hello, Teacher Yummy and class. This is Maria Young, and I did my presentation on robotic process automation. So I chose robotic process automation because I have personally seen the need for it in multiple areas of today's society. And fun fact, my husband actually does the programming and stuff for robotic process automation for a job. Now, what is robotic process automation? According to Vishnu KC, Senior Software and Analyst Lead at Clasys Technologies, robotic process automation is nothing but instructing a machine to execute mundane, repetitive manual tasks. If there is a logical step in performing a task, a bot will be able to replicate it. According to Marcel Shaw, Federal Systems Engineer at Ivanti, RPA is an advanced form of business process automation that is able to record tasks performed by humans on their computer and then perform these same tasks without human intervention. Essentially, it's a virtual robot copycat. Robotic process automation is primarily used in countries with developed economies. That being said, there is a debate going on that RPA will theoretically take jobs from unskilled workers that we outsource to in other countries. Now the top RPA vendors by region is in this little graphic right here. Looks like Blue Prism is on there quite a bit, and UiPath and all these fun, companies. All right, so RPA technology uses. Potential RPA technology uses include banking and finance process automation, mortgage and lending processes, customer care automation. Fun fact, there's chatbots that answer your repetitive questions like, what is my balance, when you're talking to your bank? Or, when is my bill due, when you're talking to another financing company? Those chatbots are robotic process automation. The other uses you can see here are optical character recognition applications and data extraction process, which I'm sure is a huge help in those industries. RPA effects on society. Now, this is really interesting. In a TED Talk hosted by University College London entrepreneur David Moss, explains that digital labor in the form of RPA is likely to revolutionize the cost model of the services industry by driving the price and products of services down while simultaneously improving the quality of outcomes and creating increased opportunity for the personalization of services. Now, how was robotic process automation founded? I was a little confused by this when I was researching it. There were a couple of different years put out here. Basically, RPA is kind of like the thinking, or where AI is the thinking part, robotic process automation is the doing part. So it's all kind of hand in hand with AI. But according to an article published by www.techtarget.com, the actual term RPA was coined in 2012 by Phil First, founder and lead analyst at HFC Research. The technology plodded along until about 2018, when it exploded in popularity as companies undertook digital transformations and RPA platforms' capability improved. Today, it was one of the fastest growing categories of enterprise application automation. RPA software is now particularly useful in organizations that have many different and complicated systems that need to interact together fluidly. I think that's an important note too, because RPA, in a very, very small sense, is kind of like macros in Excel. It's something where you can record a macro and it'll repeat what you're doing. But this is with different complicated systems that can interact together fluidly. So I'm sure if you've ever worked with Excel and wanted it to gather information from somewhere else, you've seen that frustration, and this would be very interesting to you. Okay, robotic process automation pros and cons. RPA is user-friendly and code-free, meaning that the average worker is able to use it to reduce their repetitive tasks. As anyone who has spent hours copying and pasting data knows, this is a huge benefit to job satisfaction. It also minimizes errors and increases security. RPA bots are designed to perform specific tasks, and because of this very fact, we have one more advantage of incorporating RPA in business: security. Since robotic process automation operates on a granular level, there is no risk of data leaking from one facet to another. Um, Now, the skills and education level requirements. This is the great thing about RPA. When you're using it, many platforms can be utilized by the average user, as many softwares have user-friendly GUI. You don't really need anything special to use RPA. Now, to create RPA, to work on RPA, the degrees required for process automation can also require up to several years of college, depending on the level of skill and experience required for the application. Tools needed to leverage RPA technology. Robotic process automation is the software technology that makes it easy to build, deploy, and manage software robots that emulate human actions interacting with digital software and systems. It is sometimes referred to as software robotics. It is the software that can be used on PCs and servers that you already have, so you don't need additional software. Okay, describe the impact on the workforce. Specifically, does this emerging technology create new jobs, take away old jobs, or both? This is the hot topic, isn't it? You know, with stuff like this and with AI, is it going to take away jobs? Well, according to a Harvard Business Review, most operation groups adopting RPA have promised their employees that automation will not result in layoffs. Instead, workers have been redeployed to do more interesting work. One academic study highlighted that knowledge workers did not feel threatened by automation. They embraced it and viewed the robots as teammates. The same study highlighted that rather than resulting in a lower headcount, the technology was deployed in such a way as to achieve more work and greater productivity with the same number of people. Now, conversely, some analysts proffer that RPA represents a threat to the business process outsourcing industry. The thesis behind this notion is that RPA will enable enterprises to repatriate processes from offshore locations into local data centers, which, with the benefit of this new technology, the effect, if true, will be to create high-value jobs for skilled process designers in onshore locations and within the associated supply chain of IT hardware, data center management, etc., but to decrease the available opportunity to low-skilled workers offshore. On the other hand, this discussion appears to be healthy ground for debate, as another academic study was at pains to counter the so-called myth that RPA will bring back many jobs from offshore. So, we shall see. Describe its potential impact on commerce and technology. Huge cost savings by automating mundane day-to-day functions, which will lower the cost of the product. It minimizes the chances of error, resulting in a higher quality product, and which means less loss. And RPA increases the number of items being put through a process or system, also known as throughput, and reduces operating and staffing costs. Conclusion: I think robotic process automation is pretty great. Robotic process automation, or software robotics, stands to revolutionize the workplace in both efficient and effective ways. No more wasted talent on data entry when a robot can do it. Instead, that worker can be used to their full potential to work on more thought-provoking tasks, leaving more room for human creation and innovation. Thank you for listening to my PowerPoint.